Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. Today, we're going to talk about Jon Moxley as he reveals that there's a new attitude to AEW. I'm very interested in this, so I've listened to this clip already, but I want to let him talk, and I'm going to respond. So, Jon Moxley, explain to everybody what's the new attitude for AEW.
The attitude that you're feeling, kind of the energy that you're feeling in the in the locker room, backstage, in the arena, just everything surrounding AEW. It's a different kind of attitude. Like I said, it's very exciting, and there's be a lot of stuff that won't be a part of this AEW.
Okay. So there's going to be things that are not going to be part of this AEW. Can we have some examples, please?
Here I heard somebody, a backstage type person, and talking about interviews or pre-tapes or something, and it was a situation where talents were not put in a position to succeed due to lack of kind of preparation and framework and direction. And
oh, so you had talent that were not being platformed correctly. You had talent that were not put in positions to succeed. I would imagine your young talent not being put in positions to learn. It's almost like people have been saying that for the last 2 or 3 years. Like Jade Cargill put this on blast when she left, that there was nobody backstage in AEW trying to help her. And that CM Punk had to show her how to use a chair because somebody just says, hey, you're going to hit somebody with a chair today. And she was like, I don't know how to do that. And CM Punk had to teach her how to use a chair the day she did it. We finally got around to this, Finally got around to guys need to be produced better for promos. Guys need to be more prepared for their segments. We're finally getting around to this. 5 years in, wow. At least somebody's paying attention to the product. Got to give old John he might have been a little slow on the uptake, but at least he caught up. Let's see what else he got to say.
Things like that. This individual said, well, it's the bottom of the card. It doesn't matter. Oh, it's the bottom of the card. It doesn't matter. Can you imagine saying that?
No.
Like you're fired. You're fired. Go work at Sunglass Hut. You should be pistol whipped for saying that.
You know what? Whew, that's extreme. Go work at Sunglasses Hut. That's extreme. Hopefully nobody has to do that anymore. But he makes a good point. These guys with this elitist attitude that only the main event guys matter. Only the upper mid-card guys matter. That the undercard guys, they don't have to take time and, be produced properly and understand what they're doing and what their role is and what the direction of the characters are supposed to be. Yeah. And it sounds like Moxley wants structure, which is exactly what he left WWE because there was too much structure. Then he came to AEW, he was having so much fun. It was wild and crazy. And now it got a little too wild and crazy. Nobody knows what the fuck they doing. Now he's like, okay, I got to impose some orders. You know how it is with revolutions. The revolutionaries, they want to deconstruct everything. But in reality, they just want to be the ones in control. That's kind of what it seems like. It's like Moxley has decided, you know what? I hate writers and production guys. Wait a minute. I should be the writer or production guy. then that sounds like everything is going to turn out, huh? You're going to be the guy taking charge. Okay. That's all right. I mean, what's his plan, though? What's the plan? What's the big plan?
And, for one, everybody that's on the top of the card was at one time on the bottom of the card. That's how it works. You climb the ladder.
Yes, that is absolutely true. And I don't understand why Tony Khan would hire somebody with the thought process that if it's on the bottom of the card, it doesn't matter. I just don't understand why you would hire people who have that mentality. And it seems to be pretty pervasive. I mean, it's pervasive amongst the fandom too. The fans don't really care about guys that's on the bottom of the card. You know, they barely care about the guys at the top in AEW. So, I get it. But if you're in production, it's your job to make people care. It's your job to get people invested in their product, invested in the program, and invested in what they do. So, I mean, he's got a point. Moxley's got a point so far.
You see a lot of frustration or confusion because from some of these talents because there's no ladder. They don't know what to do. You know, there's kind of wandering in the desert, right? And we're gonna grab them by the shoulder and want to walk them. You know, that's what we're gonna do.
Huh? We're gonna grab them by the shoulder and we're gonna walk them. Well, I hate to be that guy. I would not like to be that guy. But there was a guy in AEW that wanted to do just this, and he got fired because a bunch of other guys didn't want him imposing what he thinks wrestling should be onto them. This philosophical difference that turned into one of the biggest melees to ever take place in a large-scale wrestling promotion, all because one guy who was an older guy, salty guy, had decided he was going to come in and start imposing order, giving directions, trying to help the young talent who didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and nobody was back there trying to help. At least that's what he said. And they ran him out of town with pitchforks and torches. Now Moxley's like, look, somebody's got to do something. Where were you the last 5 years? What were you doing when the man in question was trying to impose some order in that place and get things that make sense? What were you doing? When Jack Perry was trying to use real glass, where was Moxley during all this time? What was he doing? What was his thoughts on that? When there were guys shooting on each other in promos in the middle of the ring, getting each other mad, where was Moxley then? What was Moxley doing then? Why did the light bulb just go off all of a sudden that there needs to be some structure and the young guys need some direction? I would love to know what gave him the grand idea that finally somebody's got to do something. So let's get into the article from the New York Post. It says, Jon Moxley unplugged on the hard reset in AEW. It says, the most ambitious things I've ever attempted. From November 11th, 2024. He said Moxley calls it his day zero. Meaning that the day that he is, I guess, taken over is day zero. Nothing matters before this. He says, quote, everything that happened up to this point doesn't matter. This is day zero. We begin from here. And it might not look much different right now, but it will. And things are accomplished by small incremental steps, doing little things consistently. And that is how big changes are made over periods of time. That's true. That is absolutely true. And he says, my goals going forward are probably the most ambitious things I've ever attempted. And logically on paper, one would say they would probably be impossible, but we're going to do it. We're going to accomplish those things. Okay. What are the things that you're trying to accomplish, sir? What are you trying to accomplish? He says there's just a lot of noise in the world, and sometimes you really got to do something drastic to get everybody to stop what they're doing and look in your direction to make a point. I'm absolutely not afraid to do that. He says he wants AEW to be a place that, quote, not just about putting on great wrestling shows, but makes great people. It makes great people. He's trying to shape the youth. He's trying to shape folks. Interesting. He said, wrestling gave me an opportunity to kind of become a functioning human and gave me a path to walk in the world. All right, that's sensible. He says, I have a dream, a vision, something I can see. I see a world where everyone is successful, where everyone can be successful, where the talents are fostered and their growth is fostered, and talents are set up for success and set up for growth to be whatever they can be, where their strengths are brought to the forefront and utilized, and we mine their value out of them and give them the opportunity to be whatever it is they can be. Okay, that's sensible. All right. This is not a problem. I don't have a problem with this so far. I'm just saying, where the hell have you been for the last 3 or 4 years? Where have you been all this time when it comes to helping these people, trying to get them over? Because we've been saying this stuff for a long time. I don't know. Maybe this is the what kicked him in the ass to finally start doing something. He says, by signing this deal, it means the TV deal, we made a commitment to do something and to attempt something, to create something, to be successful at something. You know, this is not the time to celebrate. There is no time to do that. This is the time to get to work. What are you going to do with this opportunity? That's what I'm worried about. There's been a lot of kind of the previous AEW in the past, you know. There's been a lot of sitting around and celebrating. Just treating it like stuff just happens. Like, oh, it's just success, you know. Happens. This is the way it's supposed to be. And it's not going to go anywhere. Like, this can all go away tomorrow. He thinks that this all can go away tomorrow. He got spooked by something. Sounds like something spooked him. They got, you know, it's supposedly a huge deal that was guaranteed money that is going to guarantee AEW financial providence for the next several years. But yet they're going to do a hard reboot. Apparently, there must be some kind of poison pill in this deal or something that Tony Khan needs to whip everybody into shape. And he was like, the only person I can trust to do this is Moxley. So, Moxley's not done, though. He says, it can be whatever the fuck we want it to be. Any rules we have, we got to have, you know, interviews on the set that look like this. So we got to have this in time. We got to put this up. Any of the rules we have are just things we put on ourselves. It's pro wrestling, and it's always evolving. And even you got to stay evolving with it, or you get left behind. Okay? So, he says, I'm beating the shit out of a lot of guys. You know, just talking a lot of shit. But in no way am I beating up a bunch of lazy kids. I'm, you know, Clint Eastwood on the lawn or something like that. In no way is it like that. I'm an advocate for these people. And maybe the only guy standing up for these guys in the locker room. The only guy standing up for these guys in the locker room? Well, if you'd have stood your ass up a couple of months ago, maybe you wouldn't have been. Where's Edge? Isn't Edge in that locker room? Where the hell is he? So he says, I'm excited about the new kind of attitude you're feeling, the energy that you're feeling in the locker room, backstage and in the arena, just everything surrounding AEW. It's a different kind of attitude. Says you have to appreciate how great this opportunity is that we have right now. We have a responsibility to make the most of it. What AEW becomes in the future, in the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, whatever it is going to be whatever we make it. This is all very good. This is all excellent. But something scared him. Something scared him straight. What was it? What was it that scared him straight? Because what we've got a history of guys like Mark Henry, guys like CM Punk, guys like Billy Gunn, guys like Tully Blanchard, guys like Jake Roberts. All of these people have been saying for years and years now that they have been trying to help talent in AEW, and people just either don't listen to them, the guys give them lip, they give them attitude, and they just give up. They just decide, you know what? I mean, even Medusa even claims that she tried to train some of the girls in the Nightmare Factory, and they don't get paid to train, so they don't bother with it. Now we see all these people, all of a sudden, they flip around, they're saying, oh shit, I guess these things do matter. I guess presentation does matter. I guess training your talent does matter. Huh. And now you leave Moxley to be the one guy to do it when you could have had a locker room full of people doing this stuff the whole 5 years you've been on the air. I guess you got a new leash on life. In closing, I just want to say there's an ESPN article out there from 2022 where they tell this really long story about how CM Punk is in AEW being a mentor. Guys like Powerhouse Hobbs, guys like Max Caster, guys like Darby Allin, all these people. Oh, CM Punk tried to help me. He gave me positive advice. He lifted my chin up when my chin was buried in my chest. I was feeling so down, and then CM Punk threw his arm around me. And he's talking about how he wanted to help all the young talent in the world. He wanted to prepare them, teach them how to be successful. A year or so later, he was out of the company because he pissed off the wrong guys. But now we're going to do it all over again. We're going to do it right this time, guys. Now Moxley's going to be the guy that's going to teach you how to do it. Now Moxley's going to be the guy that's going to advocate for you and stand up for you and teach you. After you ignored CM Punk and Jake Roberts and Billy Gunn and Tully Blanchard and Mark Henry and Big Show, after you've ignored all of these people, you're going to listen to Jon Moxley. Okay. Look, I'm not going to say he can't do it. I'm just going to say I'm going to pay attention. Let's see if it improves. We're going to give it the same amount of time we will give it to anybody else. We're going to give it 6 months. All right? What's 6 months from today? Today is November the 12th. Let's take a look at it in May. How about that? Now, in fact, let's give them another month. Let's talk about June 12th. Easier date, my parents' anniversary. June 12th. We're going to sit back and see whether Dynamite and AEW in general is better than it is right now. Have the ratings gone up? Has the TV ratings gone up? Have the attendance gone up? Have anything improved in 6 months? If not, if it's gotten worse, we know that Moxley probably fought valiantly, but it didn't work. If things do turn around, and I can say, well, maybe they decided that this was a major opportunity and things does need to change. Because I already heard that they're changing some of the production stylings. They're going to change their production style in January when the money starts coming in, which ought to be very interesting. But I have to say, I have no faith that AEW is going to turn this thing around. Again, too many people for too damn long have said that the talent are lazy and they don't care. And I don't see how it's going to change. Unless Tony Khan is going to get in the habit of firing people, I just don't see how it's going to change. What do you guys think? Let me know and I'll talk to you folks later.
No one does it better.